After speaking, he left without paying any money for medical expenses. Last night, he went out to catch a meal and saw a traffic jam on the road. He drove his Maserati retrogradely on the sidewalk, forcing the cyclist to carry the car to the side of the road to give him the way. As a result, an old master acted slightly slower. At one point, when he got out of the car, he kicked the old master into the green belt on the side of the road, and then spit on the opponent's face, and cursed, "Be it starred stupid, dare to stand in my way? This time it is just kicked. Next time I will FC King kill you old thing." After that, he just drove away. Even just now, he didn't have the quality himself, robbed someone else's parking space, and ended up rubbing the car. Instead, he criticized Elsa and Charlie for being poor when he spoke. The degree of arrogance is evident. If he is now engraved with the word, "poor hang," on his forehead, it is really the best punishment for his life, his character, and his actions. Seeing this kid struggling back and forth, he refused to let himself engrave, and immediately gritted his teeth and cursed, "If you cooperate honestly, I will engrave 2 characters on your forehead, but if you fight with me here, I'm sorry. I will not only engrave the word, 'poor hang,' on your forehead, but I will also engrave the word on your cheeks on the left and right sides." After finishing speaking, Orville felt puzzled, and said, "Right. Don't you just think that your dad has made too much money in the past 2 years, and it is not you who floated? Then I will let your dad be arrested." Engraved 4 characters on his face. "Then tell him that all this is thanks to you." Lu Ming was really frightened. Although he has a bit of money, it is impossible to really fight against Orville. The underworld brother Mr. Orville can chop his family into the meat with one knife. Moreover, above Orville, there is also the Song family. Who doesn't know that Orville is a dog of the Song family on the road? However, even if he is just a dog in the Song family, he is definitely not something others can afford. If he really engraved the word, "poor hang," on his face, how would he see people in the future? If he really engraved the words, "poor father," on his father's face, how would his father see people in the future? When the time comes, Dad will be angry and strip him alive. So he could only cry while begging, "Uncle, please be merciful, can you make it smaller? F***ck off." Orville slapped his face directly, and cursed, "Dare to bargain with me?" Lu Ming was in tears and was extremely afraid of feeling wronged in his heart, but he dared not say anything to Mr. Orville. Mr. Orville asked people to grab his head tightly, preparing to use a dagger to engrave a poor character on it. Charlie took out his phone and turned on the video recording. Although Lu Ming begged him to engrave a bit smaller, how could he dare to neglect Charlie? So go as big and deep as possible. This word occupies half of the forehead. Moreover, Mr. Orville, an old thing, is 2D*MN ugly writer. His poor character is not as good as a primary school student. Mr. Orville returned to find a supplement for himself. He smiled, looking at Mr. Wade. "I am not used to lettering with a knife, it's ugly." Charlie snorted and asked, "You tell the truth, how many years have you read?" Mr. Orville laughed and said, "I have been studying for several years. I graduated from elementary school anyway, but it's true that I didn't study hard in 6 years of elementary school." Charlie nodded and said, "All right, if you engraved him too well, it would be cheaper for him." When Lu Ming heard this, he cried out of breath. The pain on the forehead is no longer important at all. The important thing is, doesn't this mean that he's disfigured? Mr. Orville looked at the other party's bloody forehead, took out a wrinkled pile of toilet paper from his pocket, sucked the blood-sucking water, and said, "Come on, the other side now." Immediately afterward, Mr. Orville began to carve another character. He also engraved this character very big. One on each side is really eye-catching. After the engraving, he looked around for himself, nodded in satisfaction, and then asked Charlie, "Mr. Wade, do you think my craft is okay?" Charlie stopped the video recording, nodded, and said, "Seems pretty good." Orville just smiled and asked, "Mr. Wade, how to deal with this plastic face?" Charlie said calmly, "You will observe at these 2 people from now on. If Lu Ming dared to remove his scars and grow long hair to cover his forehead, he would be killed directly by me, and if she had this plastic face if she dared to go. fix her crooked nose and disfigure her entire face. Besides, if she still dares to play YouTube, break her leg. The bodies of the two kneeling on the ground were suddenly startled. When Lu Ming was thinking about going back, he hurried to find a plastic surgery hospital to remove the scars, and then grow his hair a little longer and covered his forehead with bangs. This should have a little effect. But what Charlie meant was to let all the people see what was on his forehead with two big characters in the future. And that plastic face was thinking about it, and when he went back, she will quickly find a mobile phone to log into YouTube, deleted the video that Orville sent just now, and then go to the plastic surgery hospital to get her nose back. But Charlie directly and expressly forbids her to trim her nose, and even refused to let her use YouTube. How can she become an internet celebrity in the future? How to lie to those poor fans? How to hook up the rich second generation,